Hello friends, this is Nancy here. As you can see, I'm wearing my a call to return t-shirt, and I've got a call to return book here, and I'm going to share with you some of the things that I wrote in the book, A Call to Return. As you may well know, God gave me prophetic words, accountability of the body of Christ, and also a call to return, which calls the body of Christ to return to Him because Jesus is coming soon. So today I want to speak about a particular thing that God spoke to me about, which is stewardship of the body of Christ. It's a message for leaders of churches. So I will read from A Call to Return, chapter 6, page 51. And as you know, I wrote these books a couple of years ago. Right, so I'm going to read first of all the verse that God gave me, John 21, verse 15 to 17. And Jesus was having a conversation with Simon Peter. So when they had eaten breakfast, Jesus said to Simon Peter, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me more than this?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said to him, "Feed my lambs." He said to him again a second time, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?" He said to him, "Yes, Lord, you know that I love you." He said to him, "Tend my sheep." He said to him the third time, "Simon, son of Jonah, do you love me?" Peter was grieved because he said to him the third time, "Do you love me?" And he said to him, "Lord, you know all things. You know that I love you." Jesus said to him, "Feed my sheep." You see, we see Jesus asking Simon the same question 3 times, which means that this question was very, very important. He was questioning Simon Peter's love for him. And he was telling Simon Peter, in other words, Simon Peter, talk is cheap. If you love me for real, feed my sheep. Feed my flock. So, in other words, Peter was being told that the evidence, the true evidence that you love me is when you feed my flock. Right? The second thing out of that same sentence is that he said, "My flock." Feed my flock. Not your flock, Simon Peter. My flock. In other words, Jesus was stressing the fact that this flock, Simon Peter, does not belong to you. It is my flock, which is, one thing that we see in the body of Christ. Leaders of churches, pastors, bishops are so possessive about the body of Christ. They say, "This is my church. I waited for this church. My people, my whatever." Yeah, it's yours because you lead. You lead. You have been given stewardship. That's what stewardship is all about. As in chapter 6 of this book, it talks about stewardship. When you're a steward, you're taking care of something that is not yours. In other words, Jesus was saying, to Simon Peter and to leaders of churches today, this flock is not yours. It belongs to me. The congregation belongs to me. I'm just giving you my congregation to take care of it until I come for it. So, leaders of churches, we need to be very careful of how we treat this flock that belongs to God. We are just taking care of God's flock until Jesus comes for his bride. If you love me, feed my flock. So I just wanted to mention especially the fact that this flock does not belong to you. And it belongs to God. You are stewards, and it is required that a steward be found faithful in the work that they do in feeding the flock. How are you feeding the flock? Are you sugarcoating the gospel? Are you watering down the gospel? Are you preaching the gospel that people want to hear, that tickles their ears? One day you're going to stand before God, pastor, bishop, evangelist, to give an account to him as to how you fed his flock. Good day.